This conference will
Right.
now
So
be
input type
recorded.
is equal to text, input type is equal to password, input type is equal to submit, input type is equal to reset. Okay, so what is the difference between get and post? Okay, so then we also understood what is the meaning of the uh, read only and what is the meaning of the required. Okay, so those things we understood. So we continue with the form. So there are other things to discuss as well. So form, tags, and attributes. So form, tags, and attributes. So we will discuss about that. Okay. So when I'm talking about uh, the form, so generally we create the form by using the form tag. Okay. Action is equal to some page. Method is equal to either post or get. Okay. So and we'll go on with the things. Fine. Right. So then, so username, password. Fine. Let it be there. Okay. Now up to yesterday, the value was like not very important. Value was not like very important. Yes. But what I told you that value only reach server, the server or any other medium matter. So it will reach any other medium. Okay. So whenever you give the value, so that value will be taken to the server, all those kind of things stuff. We know that. But today what we will do is we will talk about a type where the value becomes important. Where the value becomes important. Okay. So the next thing that we are going to talk about is hidden type. What type? Hidden type. So hidden type. So we will talk about the hidden type. So what exactly is the hidden type, sir? This type make the HTML components make the HTML component make the HTML component hide from the user. Hide from the user. So this type make the HTML component hide from the user. So the from the user it will be hidden. Okay. But but its value can be taken to the uh, resource to the resource of the form. Resource of the form. So it can be taken to the resource of the form. So this type will make the HTML component hide. Point number one. However, being hidden also, the value will be reached to the value will be reached to the resource of the form. Now JSP file is there or any other HTML is there. It will reach there. Will reach there basically. Okay, so that is what is hidden. So what you have to say? Type is equal to hidden. What you have to say? Type is equal to hidden. So what is the use of this? I'll tell you. So we will say, okay, so phone number, okay, take off this and for our simple understanding, I'll just say name. So I'm not using any name or anything. I mean, any label or anything. So I'll just say password again. Now here, I will say input type is equal to hidden. Input type is equal to hidden. So name input type is equal to hidden. Name is equal to username and I will give the value is equal to value is equal to Mohit. This full name, right? Value is equal to Mohit. And just I will go for a BR tag. So what does a BR tag do? BR tag will be used for break. So next we will say input type So password input type is equal to password and name is equal to something like user pass. So here I'm not going to provide any value. Let the user give the value. Fine. So submit and reset same. Now if you run this, okay. So right, it is taking the same thing is happening with Pawan, no? So what we need to do is so we need to go out of the server. Okay, so say start debugging. Okay, still if it is coming, so what we can make the file. Yeah, so we can make the file run here. So you just drag and drop. No problem. So here is my file. My file is in recruit UI12 demo. Yeah, right. So let me copy this and drag it onto. Okay, so this will also work. Now, what you find there? What do you find there? Name. What you give? Hidden. Hidden means it is not giving you option to type anything. That is what is hidden. So uh, in your websites also, you can have this hidden, where the user will not give any value. But as a programmer, you can assign the value. Now, if I say submit, if you okay, I'll just say get. Okay, so that we can see the value. So I'll just refresh it. Now I'll say just give some password. I don't know. I cannot give that name. No. Now I said submit. Okay, so save this. So we said get. Okay, so some password I'll give. Say get. Okay. Now what you observe on the top here, user name is equal to Mohit and user pass is equal to something. Means the value is going. No. It did not give you an option to type definitely, but the value is going or not. So this is more used in the banking applications and all. So where you will not be giving your PAN number anywhere, but that PAN number will be automatically taken. Automatically taken. Why? Because so now whenever you log in into the system, all your details will be handed over. So you never type the PAN number, but that PAN number will be taken across all the financial. Yes, how? By simply using type is equal to hidden. Understand my point? So when you say type is equal to hidden, what happens? When you say type is equal to hidden, what happens? You are not giving or you are not getting a chance to give any value. But the original value of that will be there value attribute. There with which attribute? Value attribute. Am I clear? Yes. So the value will be there with which attribute? Value attribute. So if you are just submitting the report or if you are just submitting this HTML, so the value will reach the server definitely. Okay, on what name it will reach? On uname. On uname. Getting my point? So in this way, hidden will be used. Is that clear? Yes. Okay. So that's how we can deal with the right. So this is hidden value. This is what hidden. Okay. Next, we will look at something like number. So type is equal to number. So number generally is used for giving the numbers. Number is generally giving the number. So you can have the you don't have to type. So just you will get some arrow key. So with that click of that, you can get the numbers. Okay. So it is used for providing the numbers. Used for providing the number in an HTML, in a web page, in a web page. It is used for providing the numbers in a web page. In a web page, you are going to get the numbers. Is that clear? Okay. Now let's go first. Okay. So I will say something like number. Okay. So number. So what you have to give? I will just give something like. Okay. So this should not be there actually. Okay. So there should not be this. Okay. So number type is equal to input type is equal to number. So what I will take here number. So name is equal to u number something u number. Okay. So then save this and refresh this. So what you're getting here? Okay. So let me give a break. You can give your own number, no problem. Save it. Okay. And one more thing I wanted to tell you is HTML is not very strict. Okay, so it is not very strict. So now number means it is not that you are going to okay, so you are going to have a restriction. So you can give the numbers by just clicking on it, right? Yes, getting my point. So this is what is number. Yes, getting my point. So this is how you can give the number, right? This is my point or not? Okay. Now we can set the sizes. We can set the sizes also. We can set the size. Okay. So number, what it is giving? It is giving you the arrow. So you can increase and decrease, right? So that is what is number. Understanding my point? Okay. So it is not very strict. I have told you. It is not very strict. So it can allow you any number of values. Okay. So this is what is okay. Now I can put the size. I can put the size. Okay. So generally what I can do here, I can put the sizes. I can put the sizes. Okay. So, and I can put the maximum size also. I can put the maximum size also. So maximum size also I can put. So for that I'll work on the text only. Okay. So work on the text. So why I am working on the text again? I don't want that arrow kind of thing. Okay. I don't want that arrow kind of thing. So what I will do, I will go for that so that I can give any number. I can give any number. So that label is number, no, it can take only numbers. It is not like that. So you are giving text, no, it can take anything. It can take anything. Okay. But now the main idea is you are going to give something like size. Size generally 10 by default. Size is generally 10 by 20 by default. Okay, so 20 by default. Okay, so 20 by default, but you can decrease. Let's say I will say 5. I'll say 5. So now what will happen? The size of the input field becomes 5. The size of the input field becomes 5. Yes. Okay. Then you can also give maximum size or you can say maximum length. So maximum length I want to give as something like pin number. Okay, something like our otherwise year of birth. So year of birth somewhere. So year of birth. So I will have size 4. Maximum length also 4. Maximum length also 4. So simply replace this. Now what is happening? I'm unable to get the I'm unable to get unable to get see maximum length 4 means 4 characters. Size is the size of the input box. So remember that. Okay, size is not the content size. Size is the size of the box. Max length is the size of the content. Am I clear? Maximum length is equal to 4. Maximum length is equal to 4. So you can give something. For number, I cannot set all this. So that is why I'm taking text. Okay. Sir, no, sir, I want that input field to be with number only. Then you have to do some validations. So that validations are possible only with JavaScript. The validations are possible only with JavaScript. Getting my point? Am I clear? So in that way, you look into the maximum length and size. Why I used simultaneously, I want to just make you uh, understand the difference. Size is equal to 4 means the text box size. Max is equal max length means the content size. Content means what? Content size. Hope you are understanding my point. Yes. So that is the way that you look into size and the max length. Okay, so in order to write about this, one line. So that, size. What does size say? It will specify what? It will specify the size of the input field. Size of the input field. It will set the size of what? Size of the input field. So what it will set? It will set the size of the input field. Yes or no? Okay. Next, max length. What max length will do? It will specify the maximum length of the content. Maximum length of the content. What max length will do? It will get the maximum length of the content. So we cannot give anything more than 4 here. Anything more than 4. Understanding my point? Yes. So you cannot give anything more than 4. So text, no, you can give 4 characters also, anything. Now everyone clear with size? Okay. Now we will use placeholder. We'll use what? Placeholder. So what is placeholder? What was value? What was value? Remember? Now, for example, just I'll go for type. So I'll go for type and say value. Oh, sorry, and say now what I got? You got name value is equal to Mohit, but this is updatable. This is updatable. Sometimes see, login name. So this should be in this format, and they'll give some example. They'll give some example in the text field. Yes or no? So that text. This is not that example. Mohit is like direct value, but I want that example. So if I have to have that if I need that example, I have to go for placeholder. Go for what? Placeholder. Getting my point? Yes. So placeholder. Right. So placeholder. So what is the placeholder? Does. So okay, first we will implement, then we will write. So now instead of uh, okay. So instead of value, I will placeholder. So placeholder is equal to example. I'll just try to so name. You have to give the name in some format. So suppose for example, camel uh, title case. Title case means what? Title case means should have every word used should have okay. So should have the first letter as capital. Every word you use should have the first letter as capital. So this is what is called title case. What is this called? Title case. You have camel case. Camel case means first word will be all small, second word onwards capital. So that is camel case. So there are so many cases. Okay, lower case, upper case, okay, camel case. Okay, in programming with so title case. So now let me run this and see what happens. Getting title case format. So what is the difference that you see between the previous lighter first of all, And second thing is once you click on this, it is not deleting or it is not touching that thing. So that is in the background. Yes. So you can type your name, type anything. No restriction. Title case, it has given title case, but they have no restriction. So the restrictions and everything you can, if you want to put means, you need to work out with JavaScript. So without JavaScript, we cannot do the restriction. Yes. And once I delete everything, again that example came. It is not updatable, not touchable at all. Updating story. Am I clear? Have you understood the difference between placeholder and value? What is the difference? What is the difference between placeholder and value? Placeholder means placeholder. Yes. It will give you something like pro forma. So it is used for giving the pro forma. Okay. So, okay, so giving the pro forma, or it is kind of giving you sample. It is kind of giving you sample. Okay. So where value is like updatable, the placeholder can never be updated. So placeholder is just for the form. So this is use and this use a pro forma. Use a pro forma or a type in which the input can be given. It is not updatable. It is not updatable by the user. By the user. It is not updatable by the user. Always remember. It is not updatable by whom? By the user. Right? It is not updatable by the. Okay. What is the example, sir? Example is here. So I can do this. I'm giving you only non-copyable scripts because I want you to get hands-on. Next, we will go for type. The type is text. Oh, text type is type. So by default, whatever you give, it will be text. Therefore, it is text. So it is taking type, but it is text. Okay, so type is equal to text. So type error. Okay, same thing. Okay, so as you say, right? So it is text. So you can use the text. Okay, right. So there is no type for type, but somehow said T, and I went along with it. Okay, right. Okay. Anyway, next we have something like TEL. What we have? TEL. So TEL generally is giving you, helping you to give the telephone number, helping you to give the telephone number. So it helps in providing the telephone number. We cannot use number in the telephone number because number is like arrow and all, right? So you can use TEL. No, sir, I will use text. No problem. I can use telephone number. Okay. So whenever we talk about telephone number, generally, for example, in outer countries, we will have the telephone number something like 123 dash 456 dash something like that. No? Okay. So try to remember what I'm trying to say. Phone. So input type is equal to what? Input type is equal to TEL. TEL means telephone number. User telephone. So here, what I will introduce is I will introduce something like uh, uh, placeholder. Okay, placeholder again example. So example, you can give the number something like 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. Okay, okay. So this is placeholder that we know. And one more thing, I have, I forgot. So we can give the format also. Okay, so something like format pattern. Yeah, sorry. Pattern is equal to, so pattern is equal to, so what I can say is, so pattern is going to be, okay, so something like uh, 0 to 9. Okay, so what is it? 0 to 9. How many digits? 3 digits. 0 to 9, 3 digits. No restriction, just for our idea. So there is a pattern attribute also. What does pattern attribute tell you? Pattern attribute tell you that 0 to 9, 3 numbers, hyphen, 0 to 9 numbers, and again, hyphen, 0 to 9, 3 numbers. 0 to 9, 3 numbers. So what is the meaning of this basically? The meaning of this is going to be uh, like you can have a pattern. Again, this pattern can be made strict in JavaScript. So using JavaScript, we can make the user to type in that pattern only. Yes. So that is different story. Okay. Again, I'm telling you, pattern is just the uh, or specific pattern to tell to the user. So for this validation, we can have where we can have in the JavaScript. Not yes. Am I clear with my point? So, sir, you have kept this no, so it has to compulsory make the user to give in this format only. No, we cannot restrict. HTML is not so strict again and again. I'm telling you. Yes. Okay. So, something I'm running here, and I am going to say this. Now, what I got? He gave me example, and how can you type? Suppose something like 1, 2, 3, 4 slash okay 369 okay so 10. So somebody will be saying, why I should listen you, I will type in my own way. So will you accept or not? What it will say? Definitely I will accept. So there is no restriction for me. There is no restriction for me. What is this? Pattern. Okay, so we'll write about that. Now, for example, if somebody is typing in our format, so our format is like a, right? So it will not say anything. It will not say anything. The file is getting submitted or not. If there is any problem, it will not get submitted. It will not get submitted. So it is submitting or not. Means it is not checking anything. It is not checking anything. So the checking and everything will be done only with JavaScript. Remember that. Yes. Am I clear? Yes or no? So that is you can go for the pattern. So what you need to give? You need to give in a pattern described by the user without restriction. When the restriction will be applied? When you talk about Java, when you take the JavaScript into consideration. Okay, so what I can write about pattern now? What about pattern now? Pattern attribute, what I can write? Pattern. What does pattern say? Pattern will say, it will make the user to uh, put the input or to have the input, have the input using a specific, using a specific style, specific style. Okay, so not strict, but can be made strict where in the can be made strict where in the JavaScript. In the JavaScript. Am I clear? Okay. Next, we will go for email. We go for what? Email. So whenever we are talking about email, email is generally a text. But in HTML, you have a type email which will recognize that at the rate. Any mail ID in the world, any mail ID, any mail ID in the world will have that at the rate symbol. Will have that what? Will have that at the rate symbol. Okay. So we'll have that at the rate symbol. Why? Because it's a specification. The specification by the email providers. Okay. Now, whenever you use this email, it will also check for the at the rate. It will also check for what? It will also check for the what it will check for? It will check for the at the rate. If at the rate is not there, it will not go forward. It will not go forward. It will not go forward means the submission will not happen. See, not going forward means what? The submission will not happen. Okay. So that is the only thing. So it makes the user to give a mail ID containing at the rate. You will not see dot com, dot in, nothing it will see. It will only see at the rate. If at the rate is there or not. At the rate is there or not. So this is an internal validation that happens. There is an internal validation that will take place. Where? With the email. Internal validation will take place with the email. Yes. But still, the dot coms, dot in should be there if you think that will take place only with again JavaScript. Okay, so that is called the technical are called form validation. Here we will have internal validations. What validations we have here? Internal validations we have. So what we have to put for the internal validation to take place? We just will say, what will say? Email. What will say, sir? Email. So email what type? Email what type? Email is text. But in HTML we have the email as specifically email only. Type is equal to what? Email. Is equal to email. Okay. So name is equal to mail. Placeholder is equal to, for example, I want to show the format. I want to show the format. So name at the rate, okay, name at the rate, okay, company dot, name at the rate company dot, okay, so name at the rate company dot com or dot in anything. So we are saying that you should have a name of at least one character and you should have at the rate and you should have the name of the company like Gmail, any other company, tcs.com, like that. Is that clear? Is it understood? Okay. Now we will validate. We'll validate. How we can validate? I'll show you. Company email I got. So let me say BR again. Now what I got? Email name at the rate company dot. Okay. For example, I'll say hello. Tell me what happened. Please include an at the rate in the email address. What I told you, it will only search for at the rate, nothing else. Yes. So nothing else. It will go and take care of consideration. This is called internal validation. This is called what? Internal validation. Bring your point. Okay. What it is searching? It is searching for at the rate. It is searching for at the rate, right? Okay. Now, for example, I'll say from at the rate US. Now, is it getting submitted or not? It is not looking at .com and all. Why? It only go for at the rate. So now people will ask me, sir, only keep the at the rate and submit. Will it happen? No, at the rate before something should be there and after something should be there. Is that clear? Yes. So this is the way that we can deal with the email. We can deal with what? Email. So now you understood email. What validation is going on? Some internal validation is going on. Some internal validation is going on. Am I clear? Yes. Any doubts? Any questions? Okay. So this is the way that we deal with the email. So whenever we are saying email, what we are expecting somebody to give something like Tom at the rate gmail.com. So this is what we expect the user to give. Yes or no? Clear? Okay. So this is the way that you can uh, valid email or valid email. This is the way that we are going for this, right? Okay. Next, we will talk about so email. Okay, so email text, almost text completed, I guess. Okay, telephone number, email. Okay, so password. Right. So now, basically, whenever you are filling up a form, you will be looking at something like uh, uh, interested or not. So there will be two options. Either you put on interested or not. So that is called as radio button. What is that called as? Radio. So next we will be talking about the very important, very interesting radio. Whenever I am saying radio button, okay, so radio button is what? The type of button which will enable the user to select only one option. Select only one option. The user can select only one option. The user cannot select multiple options. Then how the server will know this? Now you have to give five options. How the server will get only single option? That is the important thing. Yes. Okay. First of all, we'll create the radio button. The type of buttons that make the user to select a single option only. To select a single option only. Okay. So the type of buttons that make the user to select a single option only. Yes. To select what? Select a single option only. So type of button that make the user to select a single option only. Okay. Right. So how to do it? Let's take away all these things and something like I will go for interested courses. Okay. So you can select anyone. Select anyone. Okay. So let me put this in. This one, everyone remember this one? Top level header. Top level header. Fine. Now what I will say is like say Java. Okay. So Java, Python, AI. Right? So Java, Python, AI. Right. These three courses I am giving to the user. You can select any one of them. I'm saying. Now Java. Okay. So Java. Beside Java. Okay. So I think it should be before. No? Radio button will be before. We will say input type is equal to radio. Type is equal to what? Radio. So type is equal to radio. Right? So I will say type is equal to radio. And here also I will say type is equal to radio. So three of them are type radios. Fine. Now let me. Now what I got? Java, Python, AI. So three of them are getting selected. We did not give any option. We did not give any option to select only one. How we can do that? Yes. Now I'll submit. Let's say I will submit this to the server. Now tell me what happens. Tell me what happens? Nothing will go to the server. Why? So think, use your common sense and tell me. What I'm saying is they are not going to the server. Why? Use your common sense. Use your HTML knowledge, what you have learned from the past 3 days. Hmm. Very good. So what should be there? Name should be there. Without name, how can it go? Yes? Okay. For example, name is don't write. Okay. If you're writing, don't write. So name is equal to J. Name is equal to one more twist is also there. So name is equal to P. Name is equal to A. Right? Okay. Then run. Still I can select three. Now tell me what happens. We reach the server, but how many values will reach the server? Three values will reach the server. All three values can be stored in a array, or you can say collection of elements. Getting my point? So name is equal to J, name is equal to P, name is equal to A. So we are storing all those three values and sending to the server. But radio button means what? Only one value should go. Then what I will do? What I will do? No, I will not create any button or anything. I will name all of them with same name. All of them with the same name. I told you, know, one more thing. You understood what is a radio button? You can select only one option. You can select only one option. Okay. So Java or Python or AI. Now you understood why it became only one? Yes or no? Why it became one? You should have the same name. You should have the same name. So you cannot have multiple names. You cannot have multiple names. If multiple names are there, multiple names will go. Multiple names have to be stored by the server. Hope you are getting my point. Yes, the name should be same. Okay. So after a few days, let's say I uh, am not getting any batches for AI. What I will do is I will disable that button. What I will do? Disable. What I've done here? I have disabled that button. Now no one can select AI. No one can select AI. Why? Because that button is disabled. That button is disabled. Yes. Okay. Now I am allowing every student. Okay. So if he is not able to select anything, if he is not able to select anything, so what I will do is I will suggest him. Okay. I will suggest him you go for something like if it has check script and all on the brain, no, getting confused. Okay, check. So what I said, okay, so if somebody is coming to my institute who is not able to decide, then what I will say, you already have C, you can take. Okay, getting my point? So what I will do here, checked. What is checked? Automatically checked. Checked means automatically checked. Automatically checked. So I did not check. No, I did not check this. So once I refresh this, automatically check is on what? C. If he is not able to decide, I will give him suggestion. Hey boss, you can take C first. Then you can decide Java, Python. Hope you are understanding my point. You understand the difference between checked and disabled? Checked means what? Checked means what? Already checked. It is already checked. It is already in the checked status. It is already in the checked status. Disabled means what? No one can select that. No one can select that. Am I clear? Yes. So what are checked and disabled? They are valueless attributes. What they are? Valueless attributes. Am I clear? What they are, sir? Valueless attributes. So what I mean by valueless attributes? No need to give any value. So they will do the action. They'll do the action upon specifying. Right? So radio button. So we also use the checked button or checked option, and we also use. So people generally call it options, but I will specifically call them as valueless attributes. Options they can say no problem. So this takes an option by default. It takes an option by default when the page is loaded. The page is loaded. Okay. So then what this will do, sir? Disabled. What disabled will do? This disables an option. Disables an option. Okay, disables an option when the page is loaded. When the page is loaded. Am I clear with my points? Okay. So I will just put the code for you and put it over. Am I clear? Clear with my point? Yes or no? Okay. So this is the way that we are going for the radio. So what is the condition on the radio button? What is the condition on the radio button? Condition. Condition. Name should be same. There can be 100 options, no problem. But the name should be same. Okay. Now I want to announce combo offer. Okay. So select any two. Yes. Radio button will not do that first. Then who will do that? Checkbox. What is the next option? Checkbox. I want to give multiple options. You can select more than one. Simple words. So in this, the user can select more than a single option. More than a single option. So in this, the user can select more than a single option. So you can select more than a single option. Am I clear? What you can do? You can select more than a single option. Yes. Okay. Now, how to do that? Simple. Select any two. What I'm saying now? Select. Okay, otherwise, I'll say select minimum. Select minimum. Right. Select minimum two. I'm saying. Now I'll just take away all these things. Otherwise, I'll put this. So C is like say free. Whatever you select, C is free. Okay. So C is free. C is already checked. So AI DevOps, right? Mainframe. Okay. So mainframe, and you have something like okay, post stack. Okay. So now let me save this. Now what is that I need to do? I need to change the names. I need to change the names. Otherwise, it will become radio button only, no? Okay. So I have to put the checkbox. I have to put the checkbox. 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 And here I will say Java, right? Here I will say Python. Here I will say AI. Any name you can give. I will say D. I will say MF. MF means mainframes. MF means main. Well, name can be anything. Okay, here I'll give yeah. Now, what is checked ultimately or automatically? C is checked. Now I told them you can select minimum. C is already there, so you can select Java or Python. So now I don't want C. I want fee concession. Means I can take it off. Also, no problem. Is that clear? Yes. So you can select minimum of two. Minimum of two. Right? So I told minimum, but I did not say maximum. No. So I can select all also. So that is the major difference between radio button and the checkbox. So now what goes to the server? These multiple things will go to the server. So that multiple things database, I mean, uh, server will hold in a array kind of thing. So it will collect, it will be a like collection of elements. Is that clear? Yes. For now, you don't have to worry about the backend. So you only just look at the UI. Okay, backend you don't worry about. When time comes, I'll teach you how we can manage that in the backend. Okay. So for now, only front-end activity is important. If I say disable, what happens? It will disable and it will not give us an option to select. Yes. So this is how disabled checked will work. Okay. What are the things that we learned today? So and still we need to go for select option. Okay. So drop down list. So there are two or three main important things are there which we will complete tomorrow. Okay. So and then we will jump into CSS. Okay, CSS. Okay. So CSS again there you do some kind of styling and everything. If there are anything important in HTML, we'll yes. Am I clear? So I'm not going into the depth of everything. So whatever I am dealing with here are very important for your full stack development. Remember, yes. So we are concentrating on the full stack development and dealing, right? Okay. So what we learned today, we started with hidden. We started with hidden. Then we started with number, and under the number we started with size, max length, and then placeholder. Very good. And then we talk about help user to the telephone number, pattern, okay, email, if it is an email or not, the radio button and the checkbox. Disable, enable, I mean disable, check. Enable means if it is not disabled, it will be enabled. So these are the things, and I want you to practice. So try to put everything in one place and try to practice it. So then that will be more helpful, right? Thank you so much. So we'll meet tomorrow. So tomorrow, I will tell you. So before coming, just watch out my message and come. So tomorrow I may not take this session. Other sessions I take have some work. But actually for today it was postponed, actually. So we'll see. We'll see. If before coming, you just see and come.